Hey guys, this is Travis Engel with Mile High MMA Network. I enjoyed today on October 10, 2012, my not only fan favorite but middleweight contender Jason the Dragon Lee. How you doing, bud?
Doing well. How we doing tonight?
Good, good. Now, looks like it's the night before weigh-ins. Weigh-ins are going to be happening at the Douglas County Fairgrounds, and now it's basically council rock, right?
Yep, absolutely.
Now, obviously, how's your weight load?
Weight's going good. Weight cuts doing very well. Got a little time to spend in the sauna tomorrow, but otherwise, body feels great. Mine's feeling real strong.
Nice. Now, obviously, you're fighting basically a middleweight competition, but your opponent has kind of changed hands over time. Your original opponent was Gilbert Smith. I know you talked about how the guy was pretty much disrespecting you, and you wanted to call him out, and it looked like the fight was on, and then basically something ended up happening. What is your regular opponent situation?
You know, man, I just think that Gilbert missed his opportunity. He wanted to prove to the people that, you know, him running his mouth was going to beat Jason the Dragon Lee. I was here to prove that that wasn't going to happen, and I still stand by my word. But as a professional, after what happened with this, you know, he no longer ever has the opportunity to face me. I would never fight that man again. I would never spend time to get prepared and, you know, put my body and my mind, my efforts on the line to get prepared for something that may not happen.
Yeah. Now, a lot of people ask me, especially some of your Facebook friends on the Tough 17 tryouts in Vegas, they thought that you should have taken advantage of the opportunity. You know, why didn't you? And then,
yeah, I mean, I think everybody knows that, you know, I'm a family man. You know, I'm a full-time single dad, and, you know, obviously a gym owner here at the Peak Performance Training Center, and my schedule just didn't implement it. It just wasn't going to be feasible for me to do it. I had sponsors on the line that were offering to pay for my plane fare if I just go out there and do the thing and show up. And, you know, outside of, you know, that opportunity, you know, I still had another obligation. I knew that I had signed a contract and I was preparing for a specific fight at that time. I'm a professional.
yeah.
That's all I can say about that, and I'll leave it at that.
Well, and especially with clients and stuff too, you can't leave them hanging on top of it. Plus, you got all the personal life and stuff too. So
absolutely, and I love what I do here. I love my life every day, and I don't know that for me taking the 5-6 weeks away to go and be the best fighter I can be is the right thing to do. And I think we all know that, you know, I train at the Grudge Training Center. I got Trevor Whitman and the fellas right in the house, and no reason to leave to go train at Tough if I got the best coaches in the world right here.
exactly. Well, and a lot of people had the problem with that Gilbert ended up going out there, but even if the producer's okay, you're not in the house yet. You still have to fight in the house. So I think that's kind of disrespectful to not only you because you agreed to the fight, but, you know, also a problem of it's a once in a lifetime opportunity, but it really could not be nothing by the end of the day.
Absolutely, and like I said, I wasn't looking to ruin his career by any means by, you know, saying what I had said or feeling the way that I felt. You know, I wished him the best in the future. However, you had an obligation to fight me, you know what I mean? You should have followed through with that obligation, and like you said, I'm not going to lose my payday or my opportunity at payday over what might be a quick 30-second showing on national television, and he's won and out, and then I'm sitting there without a fight and not moving forward.
And no money either.
Exactly. So, you know, I had to make the right business decision, and thank goodness that, you know, Thomas Denny, you know, Paul Abrams, Made for War, were able to find me a good quality fill-in opponent.
Now, speaking of your opponent is actually Tanner Big Eagle.
Yes, sir.
And it seems like you spot mostly on the Indian reservations. What do you really know about your opponent?
Kind of the X factor, you know. I know that he's a lefty. I know that he's tall, he's long. You know, I'm coming from a lefty in Gilbert, but was more of a grappler. Most of his finishes were by submission. You know, Tanner looks like he's out there to bang, and what limited tape I do have on him, he's a long fighter, wants to keep it standing. So, you know, I'm going to go ahead and be the best mixed martial artist that I can be and try to take it to him.
Yeah. Now, do you have a problem with that as far as not having a lot of footage on it, or does that just come with the territory these days?
No, I'm just here to fight. You know, this fight's for me. I'm not doing this for the sponsors. I'm not doing this for the money. I'm not doing this for anything. I have fought for every reason under the sun. I only came back to fight this fight against Gilbert for a reason, to prove to the people that I wasn't gone, and you cannot just talk about people and expect it to go away.
Yeah.
So, you know, no disrespect to Tanner whatsoever. He's a very feasible opponent. I'm definitely looking forward to meeting him tomorrow night and facing him on Saturday.
Now, as far as the whole deal with Gilbert on there, you have a 4-2 record. You know, some people might think your attitude is this is it for you. Do you still plan on fighting in the future, or with a pretty positive 4-2, possibly 5-2 by the time Saturday night's done?
Yeah, I'm going to take one fight at a time now. I have no plans for the future whatsoever. Like I said, I feel like I've made my mark on the sport, and I've done what I am going to do. But I definitely got a couple fights left in my heart. So if the payday's right and the matchups are good, you know, get in touch with my manager. I'd love to fight him. It'd be great.
And you just said, commented just a little while ago that Trevor Whitman and the whole Grudge family has always been with you and stuff, especially with high altitude at the very beginning when I first met you.
Yep.
It's really not a problem as far as getting on the Ultimate Fighter sometimes. Sometimes guys can kind of go through the back door and get into the big time on a lower card and stuff like that. Is that kind of what you want to do growing up the ranks and just see what happens?
I mean, I'll tell you this. I had a meeting with Trevor Whitman a year and a half ago. He asked me if my dream was to be in the UFC, and I told him no. You know, I feel like everybody around me at that time was striving for the UFC. I wanted to travel a little bit overseas. I had some good stuff lined up that ended up falling through. You know, I've definitely ran through the gamut and had some fun. However, in my last fight back in January, I did sustain some pretty serious injuries. So knowing what I have here and what I have that's feasible to me that I can, you know, I can touch every day. Training to me, like I said, has now just become more about fun. And like I said, if the opportunities are proper, then I'll go ahead and move forward to still taking fights.
Nice. Now, of course, Made for War this Saturday night at the Douglas County Fairgrounds. You can get your tickets at mfwmma.com, King Supers, or just set up. Do you have any more tickets on board for you?
I still have a couple tickets left, guys. I wouldn't really hit me up tomorrow, but go ahead, get them at the box office. We'll love to see you guys there, and it's going to be one hell of a show.
Nice. Now, of course, one of your teammates that a lot of people are looking forward to on that fight, and I think it's possibly, if not the fight of the night, between the two individuals, I think it'll be a great fight no matter what, is Ronti Nelson versus Ricky Musgrave in a lightweight fight.
Yep.
What's your whole take on that? I know LT had a great win over Nick Laney just a little while ago, and he had a bad time with Bellator. He lost the decision, but you know, the kid's like 21 years old, so is it really a big problem? What do you think of the fight?
I don't know enough about Ricky Musgrave at all. I just know his name. I've heard it multiple times. I don't even know that I would know him if I saw him. No disrespect to Ricky at all, but speaking about LT Smash Nelson, man, I couldn't tell you about a more talented kid. I've had the privilege of training with him since he was 17, 18 years old, and I've seen him come so far, you know, obviously physically as well as mentally. And I think that what happened in Bellator hurt his feelings, and I think that was the biggest motivation that young kid needed. So if I was Ricky Musgrave, I'd keep my hands up and definitely keep coming forward, because I know LT's got the same plan in mind.
When it seems like he's really dedicated to the sport too, as working as, you know, some fighters these days will concentrate on one part, whether it's the ground or jiu-jitsu or wrestling or whatever they're good at. LT seems to be able to work at everything and has the devotion and everything else that goes into it. Plus, has a lot of friends and family back in it, like no other.
Yeah, his family is definitely an amazing group of people. I've had the privilege of hanging out with them and spending time over weekends up in the mountains with them as well. Absolutely great background that he comes from. His pedigree is just phenomenal, you know, and he has that ability athletically to walk through things that other people can't. He comes at you from angles that other people aren't able to accomplish. The biggest thing I can say about LT is, you know, he's definitely a complete mixed martial artist, and I think that has a lot of credit to do with the Grudge Training Center. They're not going to allow us just to train in one discipline. You know, our schedule is pretty rampant over there, and we're training multiple disciplines multiple times a day. And that's just what they expect from us over there.
Yeah, and of course, your last opponent that you ended up having is Jeremy Kimball, and he's going to be on the co-main event this Saturday night, and he's basically facing a couple guys that just dropped out, but you know, Paul and Thomas ended up doing a great job of bringing in Tommy Spear, who was the former, you know, the Ultimate Fighter Season 6. He was with Team Matt Hughes, and he's like 8-3 ever since he left the UFC. So what's your thoughts on that one?
Oh man, I'm excited. You know what I mean? I'm a fan of Tommy Spears. When he was in the UFC, I didn't know that he had such a great record afterwards. I'm probably Jeremy Kimball's #1 fan in the world. Regardless of our background, I absolutely love that kid. And I think that Tommy Spears, I'm honestly hoping that he gives him exactly what he wants, because I know Jeremy wants to fight a real fight. He wants to go the distance. He wants it to go long. He wants it to get grimy and bloody. I hope that Tommy can win it for him, you know, and again, I hope that Jeremy gets to face some good adversity and come out on top.
Yeah, and the card is absolutely stacked. Unfortunately, Cameron Dollar wasn't able to fight due to obligations with the fight organization, but in comes the main event that a lot of people are looking for no matter what.
Oh yeah.
And it's Josh Gavan versus Joe Diesel Riggs, of course, former UFC, Bellator, Strikeforce, whatever you name it. This guy has gone from heavyweight all the way down to 170, unfortunately, when he's going to be fighting at Saturday night. What's your thoughts on Josh's growth of the sport? I know you don't train with him, but you've obviously seen him around, know him personally. And what do you think of Joe Riggs? Is basically coming from Arizona, where he's always been, but now he's moved over to the MMA lab with Ben Henderson and Evan Escudero. What's your thoughts on the main event?
I think it's going to be fireworks, and I definitely don't think anybody should blink. I don't foresee it going 5 rounds, or excuse me, 5 minutes. There's no way. But yeah, I mean, I really don't know what to say about that one because I don't know what either of them has planned, whether it's wrestling or stand-up, but I'm not going to be leaving early, I can tell you that one. I'm definitely staying for that fight.
Yeah, I think it's a great main event no matter what, because like you said with LT, they're both complete mixed martial artists. They could bang, they could also go to the ground, and they also could do great submissions and stuff too, like what we've seen with Josh to begin with. Now, obviously, a lot of fans love you, a lot of fans, adore you just for your positive attitude and the Bully This campaign and just a lot of positive things in your life. Who are some of the teammates and also who are some of the sponsors you'd like to thank for your fight?
Absolutely, guys. Let me start off with my sponsors. First and foremost, this time out, and they've always been there as part of the family. Scruffy Murphy's Irish Pub, downtown Denver. Great group of people. Couldn't do any of this without them. Challenger Sports Bar in Aurora, also extended family. Went to high school with those kids, and they've always backed me into play. And I made sure that I had a couple extra bucks to make it through fight camp. One of my business partners here at the Peak Performance Training Center is Joel Procell with Access Performance. He's my muscle activation therapist, and again, if it wasn't for him working on the body, I don't know if I'd be able to get to practice every day. And then last but not least, Denver Chiropractic is my chiropractor. He's done wonders to help me get my neck back in line and my legs and my hips back together. So just thank you very much to all you guys. Last but not least is Mass Destruction MMA, Mike Larita, a great asset to our sport here in Colorado, and he's been a huge help and sponsorship with me.
Yeah. What about training partners, obviously? Yeah,
training partners has been really interesting this camp because we had a lot of guys that were out training, teaching, coaching, traveling the world, had big fights coming up. First and foremost, Vinny Lopez, Coach Jake Ramos, couldn't be prepared without you like this. Big Zach, I got a lot of guys over at the Grudge Training Center that were showing up regularly to make sure that I had training partners, as well as Steele over from the Grudge Training Center. Guys, I just want to say thanks a lot, man. Couldn't have done it without you guys. Also, last but not least, and I know this is a little different, but to everybody at the Easton Training Center, I couldn't have done it. Love your new facility, and thank you so much for getting my ground game right. I'm ready to rock.
Nice. Now, of course, final question. We're pretty much tired. I know you're tired. You're getting ready for weigh-ins. Your thoughts on Trevor Whitman, Shane Carwin, Nate Marquardt, everybody heading over out to Vegas for the Tough 16 season. Obviously, it's already wrapped, but it's now showing every Friday night on FX channel. Yeah. What's your thoughts on the whole thing, and how cool is it to see your coaches and your boys, on the top scale?
Absolutely. I think it's phenomenal. Like I said, I've always been blessed to be training with these guys ever since I was an amateur, and maybe that has a lot to do with your earlier question about me not really striving to go and be on The Ultimate Fighter. I've always said that some of the greatest mixed martial artists that we've ever seen on television, some of these guys have never even got to meet a real UFC fighter or a real Strikeforce fighter, and I'm one of those guys with the team that have been blessed. These guys are a dime a dozen. They're a pedigree around where I'm from, and I'm blessed for that. So I've gotten to see a couple of the other guys that are on the season already at the gym training with us. They're definitely around. They're looking good. I've been DVRing it and watching it after. I'm excited about the season, and I tell you this, I really hope Shane Carwin smashes Roy Nelson. So I'll be excited for that fight when it comes up.
Yeah, December 15th out in Vegas, Tough 16 finale, Carwin Nelson, and always grateful, Jason the Dragon Lee, guys.
Thank you guys, appreciate it.